In this class, we will learn about the philosopher Aristotle. Aristotle's father was the doctor of the Macedonian king Amyntas II. Aristotle was a student of Plato, and he went to study at the academy when he was 18 and stayed there until he was 37. Aristotle was actually the best student in the academy, and he expected to become the leader of the academy once Plato died. But they decided not to give him that position because he was from Macedonia and not from Athens. Therefore, when they decided that, Aristotle decided to leave Athens. So he became Alexander the Great's tutor. Later in life, he came back to Athens and he opened his own school, the Lyceum. Aristotle was more scientifically minded than Plato, and he is considered the first empiricist. Aristotle was very focused on classifications, so he classified a lot of things. He's well known for his classification of animals. He developed the first system of classification of animals. So he classified the animals, dividing into red blood, no red blood, hard bodies, soft bodies, shell, no shell, and so forth. These are not the only classifications. He did a lot of them. His school did a lot of them. Here's some examples. This is the metabolism, how metabolism was supposed to work for Aristotle. And this other one is genetics and what children inherit from their father and from their mother. But the most important classification is the parts of the soul. So Aristotle adapted the 3 parts of the soul that Plato suggested, and he changed them a little bit. So for Aristotle, the 3 parts of the soul were the vegetative soul, the sensitive soul, and the rational soul. So the vegetative soul had the function of reproduction and growth, and plants had this, so did animals and humans, but that was specific of the plants. And then the sensitive soul included mobility and sensation. Animals had this. And the rational soul included thought and reflection, and only humans had this. But note that humans also have a sensitive soul and a vegetative soul. What Aristotle was really doing was putting all life things into one big set with different characteristics. So he wasn't the only thing that separated humans from the rest of life was that they had a rational soul. They could think and reflect. Aristotle was a student of Plato, but he was more scientifically minded or empirically minded. He modified Plato's theory of the forms and adapted it to his empirical studies, creating a different type of metaphysics. He introduced the notion of essence. An essence is a form that gives material things their shape. So, for instance, for Plato, the world of forms was the ideal world, and things were in the world of matter. While for Aristotle, he brought forms and matter together, down into the empirical world. Think about water, if you put water in a balloon. If the water is by itself, it doesn't have any form. If you put it in a balloon, it becomes a ball. So that's sort of how Aristotle imagined this. The Aristotelian school produced a lot of interesting theories, and it's a little bit overwhelming, but we'll go through a couple more here in this class. One of his main ideas was this idea of the 4 causes. The material cause, the formal cause, the efficient cause, and the final cause. So the material cause is what something is made of. So imagine this statue with a man on a horse. The material cause of this statue is that it's made of marble. The formal cause is the design of the statue. So that's the shape of the man on the horse. That's the formal cause. The efficient cause would be the sculptor who made the statue, how the statue came to be and how it was made and so forth. The final cause would be why this statue was made. So for instance, it could have been made to celebrate a victory in a war. In order to understand anything, Aristotle thought we had to answer these four elements, these four things, in order to have a complete understanding of something: the material, the formal, the efficient, and the final. Now, another thing to add and to note is that Aristotle had what's called a teleological view of the world. So what this means is that he thought the most important cause of all those four causes we talked about was the final cause. This is because to know if something is good, we need to know what it's for. The final cause is the most important cause. The four causes are material, formal, efficient, and final. The reason why this is so important is that the good of an object depends on its function, on its final cause. Imagine a chair, for instance. A chair's final cause or function is to sit. So in order to understand if a chair is a good chair, we need to know what it's for, so that then we can see if it fulfills its purpose properly. Another example is a plant. So we saw in the divisions of the soul that the function of the plant is to grow and reproduce. So that's its final cause. So anything that facilitates the growth and reproduction of a plant is what's good for the plant. This is why it's called a teleological view of the world, because it says that the telos, or the purpose or the end of something, is what is important. Well, that's it for now. In the next video, we will see how all this applies to human beings, and we will explore Aristotle's views about the good life.